Hey there and welcome back, and in this video we are going to learn about what is Microsoft Azure. And the whole idea of this video is that just in case if you have heard about this technology known as Microsoft Azure, so you get the deep idea about what this technology is. And secondly, if you're a aspiring career in Microsoft Azure using Microsoft Azure Cloud, well, in that case, what should be your learning path? So let's quickly get started and let's try to understand what we are going to cover in this particular video. So we are going to first of all cover what is Microsoft Azure. Then we are going to cover what are the features of Microsoft Azure and products by Azure, and why you should learn Azure. Like, again, it's a very important part. And finally, the learning path. So like if you are a particular person, like what should be the learning path for you, and like how you can make your career in Microsoft Azure. Now, we are not going to focus on what is the salary part of it, because again, that is something which depends on and it varies with the role you are having and the location. So in this video, we are just going to focus on Microsoft Azure and like what should be your learning path. Okay, so first thing first, let's start with a very basic definition. What is Azure? Now, Azure is a public cloud platform by Microsoft, which provides more than 200 products and cloud services. Now, this is very important that it is a public cloud. If you don't know what is a public cloud, again, you can go back to our channel and you can look for what is the meaning of a public cloud. But it is a cloud platform by Microsoft. Of course, as the name suggests, it is a platform by Microsoft. Now, one of the most important part of Microsoft Azure is that it is providing more than 200 products and cloud services. So basically what is happening in the umbrella of Microsoft Azure, we have more than 200 products, which more or less satisfies the requirement of an enterprise, the government, or the startups, whatever you call it. In my experience, whatever solutions I have built, whatever products I have launched using Microsoft Azure, it is providing the sufficient products and services. So like you don't have to look for other products and services or maybe third-party applications. Now, one of the good part of Microsoft Azure is, of course, is that you can manage your applications across multiple cloud. So if you are going for Microsoft Azure, you are not limited to that particular cloud. Secondly, it also supports on-premises and at the edge with tools and frameworks of your choice. So you are not limited what Microsoft Azure is offering. Okay, it supports all the major platform, all the frameworks and all the services by third-party developers or the open source projects. It also supports what Microsoft has under their own umbrella of closed source, or the products which they sell, like Windows operating system or MS SQL Server. But it also provides the support for the tools and frameworks of your choice. So like, let's say if you are into Python development, if you're into PHP development, if you're into Ruby development, and maybe tools of your own choice, so it supports that as well. So like, it's basically one of the most important requirement, because certain enterprises have their certain requirements. So that is all satisfied with Microsoft Azure. Now the next question comes in, like what are the features which are provided by Microsoft Azure? Now Microsoft Azure provides many features, but yes, I have actually listed quite a few. First of all, if it is a cloud, it has to be secure. Again, that is, I would say that is something which has to be there. Like if you are a human being, you have to breathe. Okay, without breathing, like if you cannot breathe, you cannot live. So that is the basic feature which is followed here. Now the important part is that it follows the compliances which are required by the enterprises, government, and the various startups. So let's say if you have a fintech startup, it requires a huge amount of compliances. Let's say if you're building application in India, RBI has a different requirement, different compliances the company have to follow if they are securing the data, if they are storing the data of a particular person in their cloud environment. So all the compliances which are required by the government or the enterprises or these startups are already there, and it also provides a very secure umbrella, because it spends around like 1 billion in research every year for its cloud. So that is a very good thing, like on behalf of Microsoft. Second thing, it provides the support of hybrid cloud. So basically what happens, a lot of companies or the enterprises have certain thing known as on-premises. So they have some customers, they have some requirement where they cannot move their data outside their premises. So it supports on-premises as well as cloud infrastructure. So you can have the good parts of on-premises and you can have the good part of cloud infrastructure, so that you can have a win-win situation instead of you are stuck with just one solution, that is either on-premises or on cloud. Now, if you are getting all these technical terms, if you're not able to understand, okay, Avinash, what is on-premises, what is cloud infrastructure, so you can just put down on the comment and I'll be more than happy to help you with that. Now, the third part is that it is flexible. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, it supports your favorite tools and platforms. So you don't have to be limited. You're not stuck with certain platform and certain tools. You are open to use whatever you prefer, or whatever is used by the community of the services which you use. And finally, one of the biggest point which we, or I should say I as an individual, like, that it is future ready. So keeping up with the advancing world. So Microsoft has designed their infrastructure in certain ways. So like they are not stuck in a particular technology or particular environment. So they are constantly innovating their Microsoft Azure platform, so that all the startups or all the enterprises who require new tools and services, they can have it in a click. So that is, I would say, it is one of my favorite feature of Microsoft Azure. Now, I'll come to the next point. What are the products which are supported and offered by Microsoft? So it is providing services for compute. Compute is basically, I'll give a very simple example of a virtual machine. It is providing support for mobile. So like I'll give an example of notification, mobile notification or push notification. Web, so of course web is quite understandable. Storage is basically storing your media or the files which you have for your company. Analytics, so all the analytics maybe inside your application or around the cloud, that is being supported. Networking, media and CDN, so basically if you want to have a video platform or like file hosting services, that is supported by Microsoft Azure. IoT, DevOps, security, artificial intelligence, these are few services and the products, if I may, are offered by Microsoft Azure. And as I mentioned, it offers more than 200 products. So I have not listed everything down here. If you want to know more, I'll give the link down in the description below, where you can see all the products which are offered by Microsoft Azure. These are not the all products offered by Microsoft Azure. The list which I have given, this is an extensive list. This is the list which I have filtered out so that I can mention what are the important features and the products which are offered by Microsoft Azure. Now comes the very important part, Microsoft Azure and you. Now you can be following things. You can be a student who is looking to make a career in IT. You are a professional, you have certain experience, and maybe you're looking to change your career or grow your career, okay? Or maybe you are a hobbyist and you want to learn about cloud and what is that. In that case, we have to understand how Microsoft Azure is going to fit in your situation. If you are a student, if you are a professional, or if you're a hobbyist, how Microsoft Azure is going to fit with you in your particular situation. Now, I just want to mention one thing. It is impossible for me to actually give a generalized idea like how Microsoft Azure is going to benefit you. So in case if you need a specific answer, if you have a specific question, if you need a specific answer, please put that down in the comment. Okay, so that I can answer that specifically according to your particular requirement or maybe particular condition. So first of all, let's try to understand why you should learn Azure. Okay, now this is the perspective for the professionals as well as the students. This is not for the hobbyists, because again hobbyists do something which they like, not because they want to do it professionally. First of all, there is a good career growth in Microsoft Azure because it's one of the new technologies. I would not say Microsoft Azure is a new technology, but cloud altogether is a new technology, even though it is around 13-15 years old, but still it is not that widely spread across the businesses, especially if we talk about the businesses. Secondly, cloud skills are in demand, especially after COVID-19. So currently I'm sitting at my home. Most probably you're sitting at your home, and maybe if you're moving outside, or maybe you're watching this video on your commuting device, maybe you have a mask on your face. Now why? Because of COVID. So what happened? Companies realized that they have to go remote. So they need tools and services which can support their work, which can support their infrastructure, which can support their employees. So cloud skills are now in huge demand. And finally, you can work from home. So that is again one of the good advantages. I would say that why you should learn Azure. Now supports latest technology which are in demand by startups. So basically what happens when you have a startup, when someone starts a startup, so they are not limited to what they have to use. So Microsoft Azure supports the latest technology. So like, let's say if you are into a startup and if you want to start in a startup, or if you are a part of a startup, then learning Microsoft Azure can actually benefit your startup. I'm not going to discuss in detail why is that, but yes, that is one good point. And finally, it is the second most used cloud service globally. So that is most important part. AWS is the most used cloud service across the globe. Then we have Azure. So it is the second highest, I would say second high demanded cloud in terms of job, or maybe like looking for your career. So these are the few reasons. Again, these are my opinions. I would not say that this is what you have to do, this is the only way you have to do, but yes, these are my opinions about why you should be learning Microsoft Azure. Now let's focus on what should be the learning path. Now I have Microsoft Azure fundamentals with me, the certification. I have AI fundamentals with me of Microsoft Azure certification. So I want to give a perspective like what should be the learning path here. Like if you want to learn Microsoft Azure, what should be the basic path? So first of all, first thing first, you have to learn the fundamentals of Microsoft Azure. It should be AZ, not MAZ. Okay, whatever that is. So you should first of all learn the fundamentals of Microsoft Azure, like how this platform works. It combines two parts. First, basics of cloud. It combines two parts, basics of cloud as well as products and services offered by Azure. For some reason, I'm not able to write properly. Okay, so these are the first of all things you have to cover in the fundamentals of cloud. Fundamentals of Microsoft Azure, if I may. And let me rub it, let me clean it up so that I can actually show it properly. Yeah, fine. I do apologize. Now, second thing is you have to choose the track. You want to become a solution architect. You want to become you want to make your career in big data analytics. You want to make your career in ML, machine learning and artificial intelligence. You want to make your career in security, so like that is security officer or whatever you call it, or you want to make your career in DevOps. DevOps is basically development. Now these are not all the ideal tracks we have multiple tracks, but yes, these are the few ones which are very important, which are in high demand. So that is why I have said, so it is better, instead of choosing all, you should choose just one. You should just choose one. So like let's say you choose, I want to go for machine learning and artificial intelligence. So first of all, you will cover the fundamental parts, then you will cover the Microsoft Azure AI fundamental part, and then you should get the certification. Now this is my opinion, like how you should make your career, or maybe like how should be your learning path, especially with Microsoft Azure. Now I'm not saying that this has to be like this. It can be like, there are so many variations to that. But if I talk about myself, my basic understanding is like the path which I followed. First of all, I understood the fundamental parts of Microsoft Azure. Like I have given trainings to multiple companies. So I understood what are the fundamental parts of Microsoft Azure. Then I decided to choose a track. So currently I'm moving towards AI and ML, because again, that is another technology which is in high demand. Okay, so I have got the certification for this as well. So I'm not saying that you should not go for solution architect, you should not go for these, you should not go for these, but yes, you have to decide one particular path, because that is going to be very important. Now the second thing is why you should do this, because this could be replicated to another cloud. So like let's say you're going for the fundamentals and you are going to AI and ML. So like I have done Microsoft Azure, now I can easily move to AWS. I can easily get the certification for AI and AI and ML related certification in AWS as well. We have GCP as well, which is Google Cloud Platform. So it becomes very easy for me to gain the expertise in a certain niche, if I may, instead of going in every direction. So choose your niche so that you can actually grow yourself. Now DevOps will be suitable for people who have the extensive development experience. Security will be for people who have extensive cyber security or maybe security experience, or they want to make career in that. AI and ML, of course, as I mentioned, then we have big data, and then finally we have solution architect. Now these are not the path, if I say, these are not the only tracks which we have. And finally, once you choose the track, start getting the certification. Now which certificate you should get, which certificate is right for you, which certificate you should not, get in touch. Again, I would say it is not possible for me to answer every single bit of query in this particular video itself. So in that case, I would suggest that please put down your comments. Any specific question you have related to your career, like what you should do and what you should not do, especially related to Microsoft Azure, please let me know in the comment below so that I can assist you and I can answer you, or maybe I can have someone who has an expertise in that, they can answer. So with this, I would say thank you guys for watching this video. In case if you want to understand something or if you want to learn something more, please let me know in the comment. With this, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.